Does your practice suffer from weak patient flow? Purple Tie Guys may be right for you. Purple Tie Guys is the most effective way to fill your waiting room with new patients. Clients usually see significant improvement in as little as 30 days.
Since I began working with Purple Tie Guys, my stream of new patients has never been stronger, and my waiting room is packed.
Side effects may include swelling of the waiting room, increased happiness, and a better bottom line. Serious, less common side effects include sports cars and Swiss bank accounts. If you experience patient flow that lasts more than 8 hours, hire additional staff and tell your marketing advisor immediately. Increase your patient flow with Purple Tie Guys. No contracts, just results. If it makes you money or brings us happiness, you'll find it right here. This is The Purple Tie Show. Welcome to the show. I'm Robert Martin.
And I'm Blake Singleton.
And today we're going to talk about something that is you're kind of passionate about. No, it's not donuts.
Maybe donuts.
Yes.
It's holding websites hostage whenever a client's ready to go.
You know, and it's even worse than that. So I've seen people that's like, oh, well, you can't do that, you can't do this. And I've had clients who, you know, they've been really loyal, really, you know, nice, and they've had their website with somebody for a long time, and they're like, hey, we hired this company to do SEO, or we hired this company to make some changes, or they're going to be doing this, or they're going to be doing that. And they'll be like, oh, no, you can't do that.
You're talking about the company that the client's currently with.
Yes. No, they can't do that. Well, I need to give them access to my website.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, no, that would jeopardize everyone. Hang on. I got to Valley Girl this. Hang on. No, that would jeopardize everyone else on our servers, and we just can't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Which is a lie. Number one.
Yeah.
Now, if they've used the same administrator password
for every one of their sites,
yes, it would give them, give us access to all of their client sites with the admin password. However, if the client says, hey, I want to leave it with y'all, right? I want to host it with y'all and everything. I just want this other company to take care of it.
Yeah.
I can see from a standpoint where because we just had a client leave.
Yes.
Not for financial reasons, and we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
We would have provided a administrator login, for them to move the site, right? But
we've provided administrator logins for other people for other things. There was a restaurant website that we still host to this day. They hired a marketing company for their online stuff.
Right.
Even though we had tried to get them to go with us before, and they said that they weren't interested.
Well, they said that, we're not going to market online. And then they, some news station that's like, we put you on the TV, and then we put you on the Googles, and it's like, all of a sudden it's a different conversation, because we get TV ads with that too. Right. TV is now your phone, and it's in the palm of the hand, and it's,
It doesn't matter. You're still going to be getting less exposure than just doing this right on the website. So anyway, we provided login information for that marketing company for their website. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
I went in and I did, one of the things that we offer is monitoring and security patching and updates and things like that. And I noticed some weird activity on the website, so I installed a monitoring thing, and that login was logging in all the time, weird times. and they had stuff partially set up, and then they ended up just not doing anything. So I ended up having to turn off that user after the fact. But the point
is, though, that when the client is ready to move on, right? If they've decided that they don't want to hang out with you anymore, you don't want to be friends, or whatever, right? I want to move to my own hosting platform, and a lot of times they don't understand, right? They're like, well, I can go to GoDaddy and get something for $7.
Oh yeah, or I can go to Bluehost and pay $100 a year.
Yeah, just a one-time $100.
Yeah, a one-time $100. I love that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Well, what do you, and with the client who just recently, moved their site, they were like, well, it's only, I'm only gonna have to pay $100 one time, and I'm like, that's not the way it works. No, that is the way it works. And I'm like, okie dokie. We do this on a pretty regular basis. I mean, there are some days that we don't do this.
They're not often, though.
They're not often. I mean, sometimes
we are
the
fairly
internet's
versed.
down.
Anyway,
so
it's just there's people that don't understand what they have and what they need, and then they see that our right now it's about $70, but it's probably going to have to go up. Hosting and maintenance fees per
they're
month.
like, well, I could pay GoDaddy $7, and that's a tenth of what you charge. Correct, but the GoDaddy don't give two whats about
poops.
anything.
They give no poops.
They don't give two poop emojis about anything you have to do.
It's true.
And they don't update the site. They don't apply security patches. Lord help you if something breaks and you need fixing.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, well, we can restore backup. Oh, wait, no, you didn't pay the extra
$3 a month or whatever it is.
$3 or $4 a month. Well, that's per domain. And that's what they don't tell you. So, well, you didn't pay the extra, $5 a month for the backup. So you don't have any backup. Well, what about my email? Well, that was extra too.
Yeah.
Right. And so now email is another, $5 per account.
Per month. Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of stuff hidden in there.
The fees stack up quickly, and if you don't have somebody who knows what they are looking at, you could quickly get overwhelmed, easily get overwhelmed.
Well, now she had somebody that supposedly knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Right? And not a web guy, but he's a computer nerd.
Yeah.
And
can I just do a side tangent real quick?
Sure. We love side tangents.
There are certain preconceptions that...
About nerd guys?
About nerds in general. If...
I shouldn't say nerd guys. Nerd girls. Nerds.
Nerds. You've got... People assume that, oh, you like video games? You must know how to build a website.
Hey, you fixed my computer. Let me ask you about my website.
Yeah.
They don't always, we're kind of a weird, like we cut our teeth fixing computers and doing IT work and moved into this space. This wasn't a space where we were just web nerds right off the bat.
Right. We weren't a marketing company first. We were a computer company first.
Which I think has a benefit. It really
I will
does.
say this. What really surprised me was how little overlap some of these jobs have. Specifically, the person that we were just talking about, he's a software developer. He writes code for a living. And it's not like I'm writing a computer program that runs on the computer. He writes web applications. But
applications.
Right. He has no experience or had no experience with hosting and standard, mom and pop websites. Domains, had no idea about domains.
Yep, how to move it.
I mean, he had to learn all this stuff over the course of a weekend.
So, and it would be very easy for us, because originally, back to our original topic, it would have been very easy for us to be like, oh yeah, sure, put in that transfer. And then just sit on it and wait. Oh, well, it expired, just so we could. But matter of fact, the credit card popped
in the middle of our
middle of it, and I went and refunded it.
Yeah,
and was like, I'm not doing that, because we initiated transfer, and the person she had that was helping her move the thing didn't know enough about it to get it moved before it expired. And I was like, we're already in the middle of transferring this. And we actually went above and beyond and helped them figure out how to get it moved. I mean, we could have been really crappy people and been like, screw you, it's $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because that's what other companies would have. No, you want our help? No, it's $100 an hour. We'll open up a ticket for this. It'll take 3 to 4 weeks to, get it moved. And
and that would guarantee us another
a month of
service,
plus the $100 an hour fees for $500 or so. And but I just think that that's wrong. If they're done with you, regardless of the reason, right? Her reason was cost. She needed to save money, so she wanted to take it somewhere else. I just don't feel like you should punish the client for wanting to do what they feel is right for their business and website. And I don't feel like you should punish people for that.
Long time ago, before we started this podcast, whenever we had our original podcast, we talked about Dex Media and Haibu.
Oh, man.
And Super Pages.
I forgot about that episode.
You went through, and I don't even remember who the customer was now, but you got a customer's website domain from Haibu, and it took like 3 months.
I remember that customer. We won't mention them by name. But they were with YP.
Yeah, YP is different than Haibu. So they were with YP.
They were with YP and, had a real bad experience with YP and, just really bad experience.
Yeah.
And they were like, we owned this domain name. We owned it before you took it. And I'm like, there's no need to take it, right? Unless you're going to take it so that you ensure that it gets renewed every year and all that stuff, and you've got a way to communicate. And, if you're not going to do that, there's no reason for you to be moving that. I can point name servers anywhere in the world and make it go anywhere I want it to go.
Yep.
There's no need for you to have that domain name.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they had it, and they, had this big back and forth, and, essentially they didn't deliver, YP didn't deliver what they promised in the customer's eyes. And the customers were like, well, screw it, I'm not going to pay the bill. And then YP was like, well, screw it, you can't have your domain name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that domain name did not belong to you in the first place.
Yep.
So, and it took me probably 3 weeks.
I wanted to say, did you have to get lawyers involved?
I threatened it. Yeah. I was like, they owned the domain name before they ever did anything with you. That just, you got me with that. Yeah, that got me with a lot more too. But
this new water bottle is great.
It slung water on me. But they owned the domain name before they went to YP, and I was like, they own that domain name. You don't have rights to hang on to it.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, they didn't pay the bill. We're going to keep it. It's in the contract. We can keep it. I was like, that's a really crappy move.
Yep.
That's a really, really crappy move right there.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's just the way it is. And I was like, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go lawyer up because they own that domain name. And I'll tell you here in just a second why I was so hell bent that they keep that domain name. But I was like, we're going to go lawyer up and we're going to show the original purchase material for this domain. And we'll either get the domain back to its rightful owner, plus whatever you think they owe you, you won't owe it they won't owe it when we're done. Or you can give me the domain. We won't go lawyer up. And if you want to try to collect that, little invoice, you can do that. But I need my domain name. And they were like, well, we can put in a transfer. It'll take 3 to 6 weeks. Which crap.
It is crap.
It takes a day at best.
Well,
they say up to like 72 hours or something.
Yeah, it's a couple of days, but not 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. But it took all 3 weeks, and their website was down the whole time. The reason I was so just absolutely hell-bent that they keep the domain is because the domain was like 12 years old. It had all this great authority, and it had all this. It had been around forever. Google trusted it. It was indexed well, blah, blah, blah. So without this being a side tangent, the older the domain is, the more authority Google gives it.
The more trust
it has it. Right. So if you buy a brand new domain that's never been registered before, which is getting harder and harder to find, it starts off with 1.
Yep.
Or
0. Maybe.
Domain authority of 1, maybe 0. I've never seen a 0 site. Now I kind of want to go look. But this thing had a domain authority of 19 or so, and had a bunch of linking domains. I mean, it was good. So I didn't want them to lose that, because they would have lost all that great, stuff.
Yeah.
Why though? Why would you, if the customer is truly, truly unhappy, they're ready to leave, they think you've done them wrong, even if they don't think you've done them wrong, why would you try to keep it?
Yeah. Because we've always said if you have an unhappy client, they're going to make your life miserable.
Oh yeah. I told a client one time, they asked if we did contracts. I was like, no, we don't do contracts. Well, that's odd. Almost everybody else does contracts. I was like, here's my position on this. If you're unhappy, you're going to make me miserable. And I'd rather be able to sleep at night than keep you in some kind of paper agreement that you're unhappy with.
Yeah.
And they were like, there's a lot of sense to that. There's a lot. I really appreciate that point of view. And that's actually, helped us, begin a lot of relationships that just wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And, the salespeople can be like, well, I don't close a deal. I start a relationship with the customer, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like, well, I'm going to close hard on this deal, and it's like a dirty used car salesman. It's just turns me off.
Yeah.
So going back to our original topic, though, I've seen people like Bluehost be bad about it.
We've talked about this recently.
Well, we have, but they're really crappy to try to transfer a domain from.
Yeah.
Namecheap's not bad. GoDaddy's not bad.
The thing that happened with Bluehost was the website got hacked.
That's their story.
Well,
we know better.
The website had some Chinese, Viagra advertisements that it was redirecting on it, and they shut down the account, wouldn't let him reactivate the account until
Can't move it.
Can't move it, can't do anything until you pay $500 to clean the site.
That's hostage.
Yeah.
That's straight up hostage. Hey, you know what? I don't want to clean that site. I don't want to mess with it. Just give me my domain names and I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you $500 for that.
But they wouldn't even release the domain.
And they're like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's infected. Well, okay, I will take it infected. Like, give me the domain name infected. Because that don't happen.
Yeah.
There's no way to infect the domain name.
Right.
So, anyway, that's just aggravating.
Yeah.
But
it's just another form of, hey, there's this technicality that you didn't account for. You're going to have to pay us more money or you can't have or operate your website.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that goes on. You need to find a company, a hosting platform that you are comfortable with that isn't going to take your website hostage. I mean, there's no better
way
to
really put it.
Yeah.
I mean, the people, and people don't understand. They're like, man, I got this great deal. I got my hosting for a one-time $100 fee. No, you paid for a year up front for like, $90.
Yeah. Next year it'll be twice that.
Next year it'll be twice that because you got a deal.
Right.
And then you'll be unhappy and want to move, but you can't move because you're locked into the thing. And, then
or
your website,
you can move and you won't get any of that money back because you prepaid for it.
My website gets hacked. I've got Chinese porn or whatever on it.
Right.
They've shut the account down. They won't give me my domain. Is that cheap hosting really worth it now? Is it worth that? Is it worth the money you saved? Because now it's going to be $500 before you can touch your site again.
Well, here's something else to think about. Here's something else to think about. That cheap hosting that you bought, you're sharing that IP address with, we'll say, 20 other websites.
So let's talk about Bluehost for just a second. I know we trashed Bluehost in another podcast episode, but I like trashing them at every point that I get. So not a sponsor of this podcast is Bluehost because they're awful. They got hacked in the cPanel, which is something that is, it's a technical. I know I'm getting technical.
It is
but
the
it's
hosting backend. It is what you use to.
Bluehost owns that portion.
Yes.
Right. Your website is your website. cPanel is the integration between the host, the server, and your website. It's that go-between software. That's the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, and
that's about. So you have the hard drive of the computer.
It's like going through a drive-through. cPanel's the squawk box.
Correct, but then McDonald's or whatever squawk box you went to, got your order wrong. But they left off, was it McDonald's? Because I was about to say they left off a taco. So we'll go Taco Bell, right? They got your order wrong because the squawk box messed up. Would you stop it?
Yeah.
And so the squawk box messed up and they left off a taco.
Right.
But you paid for the taco.
Right.
And then you were like, no, I ordered 2 tacos. And they're like, no, I only heard 1. Well, that's your box's problem, not mine.
And then instead of them owning up to it and fixing the problem, they're going to say, I'm going to charge you $50 for that taco.
Yeah. Oh, well, you've inconvenienced me now. It's $50 plus you have to buy the taco too.
So it'll also, be
$50.59.
You don't get your previous taco until you pay this $50.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you're already in the drive-thru, so you can't move.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it is,
it's
though. I know
it's a really convoluted analogy.
I know people are going, wow, that's really, but that's about the best way to explain it.
It's about right. It feels a lot like going to a mechanic for me because I'm not very versed in cars and maneuvers.
That's not true. You know that they have 4 tires and that depending on which one you drive, either has a button or a key to turn.
So
please don't turn the button in my car. I just thought about that. Don't turn the button in my car.
But you go to the mechanic, or I go to the mechanic. If I went to the mechanic and he was telling me that there was something wrong with the engine, it would have to be fixed before I left the mechanic shop, I'd probably accept that and pay it.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody a little more versed came in and was like, but my car doesn't have a carburetor.
Yeah. It's a fuel injection. What's wrong with the carburetor? Well, it's missing. It never had one.
Right. But somebody who doesn't know any better, like me, I'd be like, okay, well, here's $300.
That sounds serious.
Yeah, that sounds real serious. No wonder it was running like crap. You know?
So I mean, I know that's a bad analogy. Both of our analogies are pretty bad at the way that it actually happens.
There's not really a one-to-one that I can think of. I mean, it's such a weird sort of layering for hosting.
But they get it. And they get that $500.
Yeah.
And you're just down until they get it.
Yeah. I did find a workaround for the second time it happened. But,
Yeah, but it was
really, really harsh having to just nuke that thing.
Yeah. So, but I just feel like there's so much, God, just the extra, right?
Yeah.
If it was a normal, like, hey, you know, it's going to take us an hour or two to clean this up. We get $100 an hour. It's going to be a couple $100.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably would have been fine with that.
You need to pay $500, but that will protect you for the year. Well, once I'm cleaned up now, well, that doesn't, I mean, what if you get infected again? It's another $500.
Why would I get infected again?
I thought you cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Right? And then he got infected again, but it was on a different domain. They were like, oh, no, that's a different domain. It's $500.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's on the same crappy server.
Yeah.
Why are you charging me more?
That's when we found out that it wasn't the website that was getting hacked. It was the cPanel.
And then whenever we, you know, brought that to their attention, they were like, oh, no, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't supply cPanel. Did you supply cPanel? Well, cPanel is a free software, and it doesn't belong to anyone. And I'm
okay,
like,
then so what are we paying for?
Then what are we paying for?
Right.
And so that led down a whole nother, you know, rabbit hole. But just be careful, I guess, is the moral of the story. Whenever you start looking at, you know, hosting plans and hosting companies, or, you know, let's say we have a doctor right now who will remain nameless that is with another company, and he paid them several $1,000s for this website, and he simply wanted us to have access.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, you know, should have been a simple process. He was like, hey, add, you know, this guy as an administrator on the account and let him have access. The minute I called to get access, they were like, what do you need access for?
Yeah.
And I was like, we would like to make some changes on the website. Oh, we'll submit those and we'll get them taken care of for you. Yeah. And I was like, that's not the way that works.
Yeah.
He hired me to specifically do the IT stuff, which was not the truth. And as part of the IT stuff, I'm going to take care of the website as well. I just need a login.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Just, it don't even have to be an admin login. And they were like, no, you'll need to submit that in triplicate and carbon copy.
The problem with going through third parties like that, especially really paranoid ones like that one, is that whenever you're doing on-page SEO optimization, there is just so many things that you need to check on the back end. Mm-hmm. Do these pictures have descriptions and alt text, and is there metadata? Is there a meta tag? Are there H1s? And it's much easier to see that from the back end of the website than having to go and pilfer through the code and run it through different tools to see if there's stuff.
But they don't care.
Yeah.
Because they've smelled it, right?
Yeah.
They smelled,
I'm going to lose this client.
I think he's going to leave. And that's $197 a month of hosting. You want to talk about expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're $79. I've seen hosting as high as like $200 a month. It's crazy. And then they charge like $7,000 for the website up front.
Yeah. What gets me is they're probably using shared hosting, which costs them all of $15 a month. Mm-hmm. And that'll host 20 clients if they have really rudimentary websites.
And I understand, you know, security updates, blah, blah. And then I said, well, you know, what's the site built on? Because I was like, well, crap, we'll just do a backup and restore it on our own servers and just be done with it.
Yeah.
And be done with them and everything. It's on a proprietary platform. I was like, don't. And I lost it, right? Because at that point, I was beyond being nice.
Yeah.
And I was very not pleasant. I said, oh, don't BS me. I said, it's built on WordPress. I have already done the research. I know it's on a proprietary version of WordPress. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let you have that little piece of like whatever it is that you're trying to hang on to that is proprietary, and you've built this custom thing. You may have put some custom code into it.
Yeah.
and you may have put like a custom little plug-in in it or something, but it's not a custom. It may be a custom theme for WordPress, but it's a WordPress site.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, "Sir, is there anything else I can help you with?" And I was like,
"Yeah, you can give me a login for this website because
said,
I'm not submitting these 600 changes that I need."
That's
done.
what I said. I said, "Not unless you want to give me a login." And he said, "No, sir, I don't." And I was like, "Huh, okay." And it's a big company too. Like it's not a little, like it's a big dental website marketing company. And they were like, "No, I don't want to do that for you."
That's so.
Because see, my thing, what I would have done.
That's so crappy.
Oh yeah. See, what I would have done was I would have said, "Okay, I need to call the doctor
and verify
this."
Yeah.
And because you were just added yesterday, let me, do some due diligence.
Yep.
I would have hung up the phone. I would have called the doctor and said, "Doc, I have no problem giving him a log on whatsoever. You do understand that if they cause complications or errors or, anything with the site, that's a billable charge."
Yep.
And our rate is insert current rate here.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be billed, appropriately.
Yep.
Or whatever, inappropriately. Or you'll be billed. If they screw this up, we gonna bill you. And that would have been it. We'd have given them a sign on and been done. As long as we said, "Hey, according to your, paperwork," which we don't really do. If they make errors, if they mess up your website, I almost said something really bad just then. You're going to have to pay us to fix it, basically.
Yeah.
But let them go. Let them do. I mean, it just baffles my mind.
It's not like, okay, there are so many ways that WordPress can be helpful whenever somebody messes something up. It would not be like, "Oh my God, I've got to rebuild this website if they install this wrong plugin." That's not the way.
You uninstall the plugin, clean up a little bit of stuff, and you're good to go.
And you're done. They
make it sound so. I guess the takeaway from this is, know your platform. Just know what you have, right? Just know the name. That's all. WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. Know the name.
Yeah, and know your host. Bluehost, GoDaddy, NameSilo, Namecheap, whoever.
Know that. And know that there's no reason for you not to be able to, unless they've written it into their, 18-page contract. By the way, their contract's 34 pages long.
You read it, though.
I did. I didn't read it all. I skimmed over a lot. But I knew enough to know that he was not going to get his stuff back. But there again, they moved his domain name to their servers for no reason. Because he's like, "Well, I had my own thing, but then whenever they rebuilt it."
Yeah. I guess my advice would be, once you know all those things, make sure that you have an option just to keep your domain, because at least at whatever point in the future that you don't feel comfortable with that company anymore, you don't have to get their permission.
Mm-mm.
Even if it means losing the website.
Or find you a nerd, baby. That is like, find you somebody that, understand. I mean, you got to be careful there too, because we found that partially built websites on web.
There's so many
stuff can be.
Well, it's not even. It's everything. Do not entrust something that is important to you to a friend that's doing it for free, or a family member that's doing it as a favor, because there's nothing keeping them there to make sure it gets finished. Websites, graphic design, logos, writing, whatever.
We just got our first ever. Well, I say first ever. They are the first Canadian client, but we got our first Canadian client this week.
Yep.
We've worked with companies in Thailand and all that, but this is our first Canadian client. And she was really hesitant because she had been taken advantage of by another marketing company in Canada.
Yep.
That she knew and trusted, and it was just a bad experience for everyone. So you can just be careful. It is when the internet first started, if you're over the age of 50 and listening to this podcast, what you told your kids about the internet is absolutely true. Right? Because we laughed about this, but we were like, my parents were always like, now boy, don't you be talking to strangers on the internet.
Don't give out your phone number and your personal information.
You better not. You get in a car with a stranger and I'm going to beat you when you get home.
Don't get into a car with strangers. Don't give out your personal information on the internet.
To call a stranger to come pick us up.
Yeah.
Like,
we use the internet to find strangers' houses to sleep in.
On that note, you can find us anywhere online at Purple Tie Guys. PurpleTieGuys.com, Facebook.com/Purple Tie Guys, or Instagram at Purple Tie Guys. Y'all be safe out there.
Don't go getting into strangers' cars.